Hi, I'm Caleb Giddings from Gun Nuts Media, and today we're talking about military and law enforcement qualification courses. Specifically, how easy and how difficult are they? The reason this comes up is sometimes instructors will say, I have military experience or law enforcement experience, and that is very important to have. I think that instructors should probably have that or competition shooting experience, especially something where they've had to perform to a standard. Now, obviously, when we talk about military people, we'd like to restrict this conversation to people whose job it is to actually carry guns and occasionally shoot them. So, if your job was to drive a truck, you probably shouldn't be teaching people how to shoot unless after you got out of the military you went out and became a competition shooter or something like that. But anyway, that's not the point. To bring this into focus, I'm going to shoot one of the more difficult qualification courses in the military, which is the Air Force's M9 AFQC, or Air Force Qualification Course. This is a 45-round course of fire for qualification, where you're also given a 45-round practice session beforehand. It requires shots at 7 yards, 15 yards, and 25 yards. And now, before I continue, I have to say that even though I am a staff sergeant in the Air Force, the following video is entirely my own opinion and does not represent the opinions of the United States Air Force in any way. Now that that's out of the way, we're going to do this qualification course, and we're going to do it twice. The first time we do it, we're going to do it, and I'm going to shoot it with half the par times. So my goal is to cut all the par times in half. And then the second time I shoot it, I'm going to shoot it strong hand only and weak hand only. So let's go to the range and see how I do trying to cut those par times in half. Strings 1 and 2 are from the 5 or the 7 yard line, and it's 2 to the body and 1 to the head for each string. Woo! I almost missed that headshot. 236. There we go. 268. Slowed it down on that head a little bit. Now we go back to the 15-yard line. All right, the next 2 strings are right side barricade, and they're both failure drills. 2 to the body, 1 to the head. Some distance here. Fucked up my draw. .489. Fucked up my draw again. Woo! Spicy. 447. All right, now my next string, I'm just going to step out here because it's going to be 3, reload while taking a knee, stand back up, and 3 more. Again, all failure drills. Air Force loves failure drills. All right, that was a 764. Now, my next 3 strings are all going to be strong side barricade. And all failure drills. .409. .398. Ooh, I might have tossed that headshot high. 373. All right, this next string, it's going to be 6 shots. It's going to be failure drill, reload behind cover, and failure drill. All right, my last two strings from the 15-yard line are going to be weak side barricade. .352. I dumped another headshot low, 327. Now we're gonna go back to 25. All right, at 25 yards, we have one 6-shot string of fire. It's 3 standing, and you should be over a barricade. I don't have one to use, and then 3 kneeling under the barricade. These are all center of mass at 25 yards. Make sure I actually have 6 rounds in the gun. Sure do. Oh, shit. .742, so even with me forgetting the course of fire that I've run 10,000 times, still would have made the par time. Now, let's go score this target. The way the Air Force scores our qualification course is you have to have 35 hits anywhere on the target to pass out of 45 rounds. To get an expert qualification, you have to have 6 headshots and 25 hits in the center mass, the chest region of the target, and at least 42 on paper, which I think is ridiculous. If you want to pass, you should be able to have them all on paper. Now, I decided to up the difficulty level. I'm using a standard IDPA target right here, and that's harder than the Air Force's target. The AFQC target is called the Green Ernie. It has a 6-inch head box instead of a 4-inch circle, and a 10-inch down zero chest area instead of the 8-inch circle. But let's score this target and see if I would have passed or not. Pretty sure I did. So we're gonna start with the head hits. How many do I have in the head? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so that's 10 heads. Now we're gonna count the center of mass hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 18, 19, 20. 20 hits center of mass. Not good enough for expert. And then I've got remaining on paper. Now I'm going to score this the way the Air Force does. So these 2 head hits would count on the Air Force target. They would not count on the IDPA target, but they would count here. So now we're going to count my remaining hits. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 14. So 10 plus 20 is 30, plus 14 is 44. That means I completely missed a shot off this target somewhere, probably up here in the head box because I was shooting a little high. But that's a passing score, and it's way under the par time. All right, the pars on this are absurdly long, and I, as you guys saw, wasn't really shooting that well today. So now we're going to set it up and do it again, and we're going to do it all strong hand and weak hand only. So I cut all the par times in half. I beat all the par times that were cut in half pretty handily, and I still shot a passing score. I didn't shoot an expert score, but I was also using a target that's smaller than the Air Force required target. Next, we're going to go back to the range and do the same thing, but strong hand only and weak hand only. Here we go again. This time we're starting strong hand only from the 7-yard line. 322. $333. I am taking all these headshots strong hand only as well. $451. Would have beat the par. $443. All right, 3 up, reload, stand back up and shoot 3 more. Boop. $1097. Not bad. Especially seeing as the Air Force gives you like 15 seconds for that. $450. I had a bad draw and a bad grip. $555. $566. I think this next one, yep, reload. $1085. All right, now we're gonna go to weak side barricade. We're just gonna dee 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 dee. Now to do this, I'm gonna start with the gun in my support hand. As a matter of fact, for all of this behind the barricade stuff, the Air Force normally has you start with the gun at the low ready. I've been drawing from my holster to add a little bit more difficulty, but here, I'm not gonna try a weak side, I'm not gonna try a hand swap transition because I don't wanna drop this gun. $528. Oh, that was a bad shot. And $449. Here we go, 25 yards. 3 up, 3 down. Man, I took a while on that last shot. All right, let's go score. Woo. This time I remember to bring my Sharpie with me. All right, so we're looking for new bullet holes in the target. First and foremost, we've got more shots out, but I think I still shot a passing score. We're gonna start with the head box. All right, so I've got one. All right, so these are actual head hits that would count for score. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8 in the head. All right, let's look at the center of mass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. I actually shot more accurately center of mass this time than I did shooting freestyle because I was going slower and aiming harder. All right. And so that's a total of 30 hits. So we're going to count the rest of these to figure out what I got in the body. There's 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, and 45. So to continue what I left off saying on the range, when I shot it again, shooting strong hand only and weak hand only, I passed again. All right. And we're not here to denigrate the AFQC. I actually think it's an excellent course, and it's one of the better military and law enforcement qualification courses. But it's also not that hard. And it's important to remember that when people are talking about military and law enforcement shooting in the context of marksmanship skill. There's lots of things you learn in the military and law enforcement that you won't ever learn in civilian marksmanship or in competition shooting classes. But in terms of pure marksmanship, most of these courses aren't that hard. If I can pass it cutting the par times in half or shooting it one-handed, well, that doesn't really say a lot for the difficulty of the course. And again, I need to stress this. I like the AFQC. I actually like it so much that I use it as a modified version of it as a basic standard in my concealed carry classes because it requires you to do a bunch of stuff like headshots and shooting from cover. I think it's one of the best military qualification courses out there. But it's not that hard. I'm Caleb Giddings. Thanks for watching. Until next time, remember, run your gun, not your mouth.